let's just talk a little bit about you and Jennice and kind of your background and what you've done. And then I've got a whole book here, and we're going to be giving those away the night of for all the clients that come
Awesome.
to run through what you do. And you've done this all over the country. So tell us, I want to hear how our agents should leverage this correctly so it's the most successful thing for them that it can be.
Oh my gosh, this is only good for agents if they want to do more deals.
None of our agents want
So
to do
if they
deals.
don't want to do more deals, then they shouldn't be on this call.
Got it.
But I'm going to tell you that we did this up in Alaska, and we had one agent that brought a number of his clients to the presentation and sold 25 houses.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, that's pretty good. So there's a couple of things with regard to this. So Jennice and I have been working together for almost 30 years. And we have been representing clients. When I started my career, I had moved from New York to Arizona, and I didn't really know anybody. So I called back to the people in New York that I knew and got them started in investing in properties. And so I did the property management for them, which I don't recommend, but it was how I had to start my career. Have somebody else do the property management. And so I was a top producer my first year because I was helping people buy properties, helping my clients and my friends buy properties. And they were from New York buying in Arizona with positive cash flows, and everybody's happy. And they were buying more.
And they couldn't do that in New York, right? They could do that in Arizona, but not in New York.
Right. The property taxes are so high in New York that, it's really weird. My sister had bought a house, and believe it or not, the price of the house was $17,000, but her monthly payment was $800 a month.
What?
Yeah, because of property taxes.
Nice.
So we're in the West, we're in a far better situation to have positive cash flows. And so here's what we're going to do when we get together next month. The first thing I want to do is talk to the agents that come. We're going to have a special presentation just for real estate agents on how to become the trusted advisor for people that are using real estate as their vehicle for building financial independence, for building wealth. And so what's the skill set you need? What's the conversation? How do you put them together so that they've got a CPA that backs you up, and whatever kind of team that you need to assemble, because we know that teams accomplish more. So we're going to talk about who do you need to be and what do you need to do to be a trusted advisor so that your clients are recommending you to their friends, and they're bragging about their properties, and they're saying, oh, you should call Steve because Steve is going to help you out. And your business starts to accelerate because of what you're doing to help people. So that's number one. Then it's in the evening, right? We're going to do the other one, Debbie?
Yeah, we're actually from 11:30 until 2 on the 9th of November. We have lunch, and then followed up with the session with you and Jennice, where I know there's been some things you're going to give them on cap rates and how to figure things out.
Yes.
And
yes.
That evening from 5:30 till 7 is our presentation, that they should invite their clients to.
Right. So has anybody there listened to Gary Keller's podcast on Think Like a CEO?
The answer is yes. That's a good podcast.
That's a yes?
Yes.
All right. So Gary talked about this stuff pretty much through this whole season about how do you determine smart money from dumb money? How do you and how do you know what to buy, and what kind of return on investment are you looking for? He spent the whole season with Jay talking about this stuff. We're gonna drill down on how to use the tool and make you an expert in doing that. Then in the evening, you should be inviting as many of your friends and family as you can. I'm going to tell you that I had one of the agents here in Phoenix. We just did a presentation. He just started advertising, come to the Build Wealth seminar. come and hear the national best-selling authors talk about how to build wealth with real estate. We had 235 people that signed up, and out of that, 231 showed up.
Wow.
And out of the 231 that showed up, and I'm talking, we had older generation like me, and we had young professionals, and all, and they're, yeah, there you go. And we're trying to, and we had this conversation, and all of the people are going, can you help me do this? Can you please help me do this? This is what I want to do. How do I go ahead and make this happen? So my expectation is that now what we did in Alaska, and we've done all across the United States, is the mortgage company bought books for your clients.
Mm-hmm. You
So
will
if
have
you
books provided.
Okay, so if they bring somebody, not only they get to hear, but they get a copy of the book.
Which is cool.
And basically what I'm going to tell them is, this is what you should be doing. Now, take a look at the stock market this year. If you look at what's happened since the beginning of the year, the stock market is up almost 14%. But for the last couple of months, it has been bouncing around. It lost a little bit, gained a little bit. I'm talking 1 or 2%. It looks like we've maxed out. And with the amount of money that that right now is being spent that we don't have, the expectation is the stock market's not going to do as well as it has. So people are looking for, what do I do? Where do I put the money? And what do I, and so we have the answer. My expectation is that probably 3 out of 4 people that you bring that evening will want you to help them buy a property and buy one right away.
That'd be okay.
Yeah. So you think, right? It's like, what do we do? Well, we help people. And see, not only are we in the home ownership business, but we're in the home ownership business for people that want to own a home. And we're in the home ownership business for our clients that want to own more than one home, more than 2 homes, more than 3 homes. So I'm going to talk to your clients about the strategy for playing Monopoly for real. And we're going to talk about how much we're going to do a calculation, and they're going to figure out how much money do I actually need for retirement? How much passive income do I need to have? And so then the question is, how many houses do I need to have? So last week on Thursday, I met with an orthodontist and his wife, and he happens to be retiring, and he's going, I have money in stocks, I have money saved, but I really don't have any passive income. So can you help me buy 5 houses? Because if I buy 5 houses, I don't have to worry about what happens to me. My wife is taken care of. So and the reason I'm saying that is because this is important for like every generation. Even orthodontists that have plenty of money and plenty of stock, he's going, I need to create cash flow. And so can you help me do it with real estate? So I think everybody should be expecting that 3 out of 4 people are going to want to buy something. So bring 20, bring 30 people, put it out on Facebook, invite your people to come. The reason that we're doing this is because Debbie, you and I have been friends, and we do anything for each other to help our people build their businesses, and that's why this is all happening.
Well, thank you for doing it. Let me ask you, Steve, in the past, the most successful events, what have agents done to get their clients there?
You know, it's weird. Maybe it's because in Alaska, they don't have a lot of entertainment, but in Alaska, they invited people and they showed up. So many of them, we had to move it to the University Theater at Alaska University in Anchorage.
It's a great problem to have.
And yeah, exactly. And then we have other agents going, well, I called my friends, but they got busy and they did, you know, so you can have results or you can have reasons, but you can't have both. So what do they need to do? It's like you have to invite them more than once. You have to give them time to put it on their calendar. You should call them and tell them it's a national best-selling author coming to speak. You'll get a copy of the book. And this is what many people want to do, but they don't know how. And we're not talking gimmicks. We're talking about the safe and secure way to invest with real estate and create that passive income and that financial independence that everybody's looking for.
See, right now the market's kind of crazy and on fire, and so a lot of people are nervous about the market, thinking this isn't a good time. What are your comments on that?
Well, there's a couple things. Number one, the market's crazy right now because of the demand and the way we haven't built enough houses for the last 12 years. And so that's part of it, a lower supply. There's also an increased demand. I don't know about Las Vegas, but I'm imagining that you guys are experiencing the same thing that we are, and that is people are leaving California and they're coming to Nevada, and they're coming to Texas, and they're coming to Arizona. And so there's a huge demand. When you're investing in properties, and people do get nervous about this, no question. When you're investing in properties, you want to have a positive cash flow. And if you have a positive cash flow, does it matter if the property values go down for a little while and then come back up?
Not at all. It's funny, back in
Go ahead.
In 2005, I had a ton of properties, and they were all worth about 350, and then they were worth like what, 120 or 130, and it was miserable.
Right.
And now they're worth probably 400 or 450. But
yeah, but and the same thing. Look at all the people that lost their properties during that point in time, and they had to become renters.
And my tenant paid my payment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that's number one. Number two, I think the strategy right now is twofold. Number one, we are seeing that inflation is running about 5%. And I don't know that it's going to get better than that. I don't know that it's going to get worse than that. But what I do know is that real estate always goes up with the inflation rate and usually beats the inflation rate. So if somebody's not making 5% on their money in the bank or wherever it is, that's inflation. This is an inflation hedge for them. And the second part of this is, if they can grab today's low interest rates, lock them in at 30-year fixed rate interest rates, we know the rates are going to go up. Rents follow the rates going up. This is one of the best times to buy, even though the prices are higher. This is one of the best times to buy single family or duplex or fourplex and use 30-year fixed rate financing to acquire it. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, these people are going to be bragging about the low interest rate they have on their investment property.
And how we help them. It's interesting. We have a whole bunch of REITs in town, and people purchasing single family just for that very reason. And to me, if they're doing
yes,
it says something, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And you've got that's Wall Street coming in and doing what we're talking about. And so then they go in and they buy it, and they guarantee the people in Phoenix, I'm hearing anywhere from a 6 to a 10% return is what they're guaranteeing them. Why? Because they're able to make 12 to 15 to 20%. And so they're happy to get your money and give you a smaller amount. Our clients are looking for this. That's why you need to bring them.
Steve, I was thinking too, if you're an agent that does like 50 deals a year, or say 40 transactions a year, and you could get even 25% of your clients to buy one extra property, they've already got a loan that's approved probably, or they've got cash. They're already versed in the market because they've been in it. You teach them about investing for their kids, for school, for their grandkids, for whoever it is. Your business would go up by 25%.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be any harder because you'd have relationships with those people already. It's not like you go and pay for Zillow leads or something. They're in your pocket already. You're talking to them.
Well, and the other thing is, if anybody's owned a house for more than a year or two, what's happened to them? Their payments stayed the same, but they got way more equity right now. And so, but the equity isn't doing anything for them. So they have resources where they can cash in, and and those resources give them the opportunity to do what they might not have been able to do 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it puts you in conversation with your clients from a whole different perspective, so that they're not just thinking about you when the next time they think they're going to buy a house. You're the answer to their problem or the problem that they have, which is they would like to own real estate. They don't know how. They're afraid. They might, what about if I have this? What if this happens? What if that? We're going to answer all the what if questions, and we're going to encourage them. This is the time. The best time to buy would have been 3 years ago, and the next best time to buy is right now.
Does anybody have any questions for Steve? Shelley?
Where do you think the furnished rentals trend is heading?
Can you hear that, Steve?
I can't hear, so you have to repeat.
Where do you think the furnished rental trend is heading?
You're going to have to watch that. That particular market, I don't know, in Scottsdale, for example, they are trying to pass an ordinance to outlaw all of them. And so there are lots of communities where people are not having a good experience with that type of rental property. And so the communities are trying to stop it. There's other communities where I'm sure it's fine. This is where you come in as the expert, because everybody's heard about, oh yeah, I'm going to get my own Airbnb or VRBO or whatever. They're all hearing about it. They want to know the answer to the question, and you need to be the source of the answer for them. But you got to be careful about the HOA. And the restrictions on the HOAs, and are the communities starting to resist what's going on with this?
Yeah, they certainly are here. And I think Shelley's thinking more long-term. Are you thinking a year or longer, 6 months or longer?
Well, what's ever beyond the HOA? So it could be 2 months, it could be 4 months, it could be 6 months.
Complying with the HOAs and having them be as long as they need to be.
Yeah, it's going to, complying with the HOAs is a local thing. Complying with, so my kids they have a furnished rental, and they're doing 1-year leases on the furnished rental, and they're doing okay with it. The problem is you got to keep up the furniture. Mm-hmm. And then it still has to look good the next time and the next time. And so they're looking at it and going, I can do so well on the rents, I don't need to furnish it. Mm-hmm. So, but let's bring this up when we get together, because that's going to be part of your calculation. How much you have to spend for the furniture. How can you depreciate it down, which actually gives them a tax benefit if they depreciate it? That number one. But number two, what happens if somebody accidentally spills the wine on the sofa?
Yep. Kathy has a question.
Someone was telling me today about someone buying up a bunch and putting them into corporate housing.
Kathy's asking about corporate housing. If you're familiar with anybody purchasing things, that again might be a local question. To go into the corporate package.
It isn't. Do you have the corporation that has a need? So I've done corporate housing, and the corporation itself had the need, drove the deal for us. But now what we found is a lot of corporations have gone in and bought, mm-hmm. and they're using VRBOs and things like that. So nothing wrong with it. It's just a different type of tenant with a guaranteed rent.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions for Steve? It's a free, easy way to get your clients in relationship with you. And if you just called all your clients, even if 2 of them showed up, you would have called them, right? And that would be helping your business too. So I feel like we're trying to have events in the office like Spooktacular, where your clients can come for free, and it's a phone call, and it's a touch and a reason to touch them. This is a great way to get people here and to invest in the future.
It's going to help them think about you differently. They're going to see you as a real estate professional that's more than just, I want to sell my house or I want to buy my house. And yeah. It's one of the great ways for us to be able to compete with the iBuyers, because the iBuyers, they think, is a solution for sales. You're the solution for the total needs. And oh, by the way, we include, because the answer to the issues that we're dealing with nationally is, this is a multi-generational issue. Grandpa and grandma should be at these. And mom and dad should be at these, and their older children should be at these. When I say these, I'm talking about these presentations, so that their families are having that conversation together. And so in Arizona, I've got a number of grandparents that go, oh, you know, could you do one of these? Can I bring my kids? You know what? Bring them. And so they're trying to help their kids do it because grandpa and grandma see the need and the kids don't know how. And so we're going to show them how.
I love it. I think people are scared of it, so they freeze and they don't do anything when there's a clear path laid out for them. It's easier, much easier to
Right.
do
And
that.
they don't know somebody to help them unless you show up as that person that's going to help them.
Mhm. Joni, you had a question?
Well, Steve mentioned that they're gonna get a whole book, so what's the charge for that? Because I know the class is free, right?
The class is free. The whole book is going to be provided for free.
It is.
Yeah. So I mean,
By the office or
by a
us as
vendor.
agents?
by a vendor.
Okay.
So not by you, just get your clients there and look at, there's a registration. We may have to put a limit. If we get 200 people, I don't know, we might go find more vendors to do stuff, but first come, first serve on books and get your people to sign up and register.
We did an Eventbrite, and then everybody had the link to the Eventbrite.
Yep.
And now you can tell how many people are going to be in the room,
Yeah.
and you can track it. So
Yeah, and our Eventbrite says what agent they belong to. So we know who they belong to. You don't. You don't. We could periodically go in and let people know who have people registered. It would be manual. We'd have to go through and pull out, okay, Brittany, here's who you have. And yeah, so you would know ahead of time. Yeah, and we will be reminding them with the Eventbrite too for you that the event's coming up. Leah?
So, logistical question. You'll have enough room for
We won't have that problem. We could have it here. We could stream it into the atrium. We'll figure it out. That will not be a problem. Yeah, we've never, that kind of stuff
But
can stop us.
you know, if it cost every agent $25 to move it to a casino because we needed a bit more room,
It'd
but
be
you
okay.
were able to do one deal, would you be okay with that?
It's a good
It's like,
problem.
hello.
Yeah. What other questions?
So what's a good script to use with our sphere to get them there?
What's a good script when we're calling, Steve? What should we be saying?
Okay, cool. Because that's a good question. So Debbie, I'm going to role play with you.
Okay.
Hey, Debbie, it's Steve Chader. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Steve. How are you?
Awesome. You know what, Debbie, as part of my job, I preview properties every single week. And from time to time, I run across a really good deal. When I run across a good deal, would you be interested in knowing about it?
Well, I guess I'd be silly if I said no, right? I'm not really, but I guess.
You know, I don't have to tell you about it, but if I run across it, would you like me to?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay, awesome. So, when I find one, I'm going to let you know.
Okay.
Okay, that's the first conversation. And all you're going to do is you're going to categorize your database with all the people that said yes. Now all you have to do is go find one for them. So then the next conversation is really pretty easy. Or if you're interested in real estate investing, Debbie, we have the national best-selling author coming. And have you read the book Hold?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, we have a free copy of it for you, and you get to hear this author talk about the safe way to do it. We're not speculating. This is the safe and secure way to build passive income with real estate. Would you be interested in coming, Debbie?
It sounds interesting, but I feel like the market's really crazy right now. I don't think it's a good time.
You know, if I was to tell, you know what, you're going to find out, or if I was to tell you that this is the best time to buy and I could show you why, would you be interested in knowing about that?
Well, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Debbie, I'm going to send you a link because I would love to have you come and be a part of it. And is it okay if I follow up with you on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fantastic. So when I run across a good deal, I'm going to let you know about it. But in the meantime, I want you to hear this national best-selling author. I want you to get a copy of this book, and let's talk about how to build wealth with real estate for you and your family. Is that okay?
It sounds great. Let's make sure you have my correct email.
Oh, yeah. Okay. and your phone number
my
and your
phone score.
birthday.
It's perfect. Anybody have any other questions for Steve? Is this hard? I mean, it's so easy and it's a perfect conversation with your sphere. If you called 100 people and you got 20 people to show up, it would be a miracle. And the
And you
results out of that-
probably, if you called 100 people, you'd probably get a listing out of it.
Mhm.
Can we, maybe add to the flyer if we get a free book?
That's on the other book, on the other flyer, isn't it?
Yeah,
We have two flyers. That flyer's for agents.
So that one's the
This flyer's
agent
for
one.
the client.
Doesn't say.
Well,
Okay,
we can definitely add it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the agents that say, you know, I don't know what to do, or I don't whatever, or I don't know how, or any of that kind of stuff, we're going to talk about that. But right now, just call your clients and invite them to come. It's a unique opportunity. And I promise you, they will. You know, we've all over the United States, we have had these conversations, and people, for the most part, are going, I just want to know how. And by the way, if there's a lender there, you will find most of these people are going to line up to talk to the lender because they want to figure out, how do I do this? How do I get qualified for it? So just expect it.
It's a good problem to have. Yeah. Any other questions for Steve? Does it sound like a good thing to do? It's 3 weeks from now. I mean, it's a perfect end of the year touch for your database to position you really well for 2022.
All right, I got to go. My 95-year-old mother is waiting and she's cold.
Okay, thank you. And Steve is fun to hang out with too. He's just always lots of good stuff. So thank you, Steve.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions for me, Kathy?
Can we register them ourselves?